The Liberals are like that pub that has that sign on the wall that says free beer tomorrow. And so you come back the next day and it still says free beer tomorrow. And you keep coming back day after day for the promise of free beer, and the price of beer continues to rise and rise and rise.
The LNG project, along with the Sissons mine, are essentially approved by the required governments, leading industry experts to say the newly formed office seems to be more about funding than fast-tracking, building on tax credits and cash offered in the budget.
Pierre Poilievre just tore into Mark Carney's latest list of fast-track nation-building projects, calling it everything from wasteful spending to liberal cronyism disguised as infrastructure policy. The Conservative leader is positioning himself as the fiscal responsibility champion, attacking Carney's plan to expedite approvals for critical mineral extraction, liquefied natural gas exports, and transmission lines. It is classic Poilievre, loud, combative, and laser-focused on making Carney look like he is spending taxpayer money recklessly. But does his criticism hold water? Or is this just political theater designed to distract from his own party's chaos? Welcome to Canada Newsletter, where we break down whether Poilievre's attacks are legitimate or desperate deflection. Before we dive into what Poilievre actually said about Carney's infrastructure plan and why his criticism might be missing the bigger picture, hit that subscribe button and click the notifications bell. You will not want to miss how this political showdown continues. Right, let us get into this properly heated exchange. Pierre Poilievre slammed Mark Carney's list of recommended nation-building projects, accusing the Prime Minister of picking winners and losers whilst increasing the deficit. Poilievre argued that fast-tracking infrastructure approvals through the newly created Major Projects Office is just another Liberal scheme to funnel money into projects that benefit political allies rather than ordinary Canadians. He questioned why the government is spending $214 million over 5 years to fund the office's approvals work when Canada's deficit is already ballooning. Canadians are struggling with the cost of living, and Carney is spending hundreds of millions on bureaucracy, Poilievre said, hitting his favorite talking point about affordability. But here is where Poilievre's argument gets shaky. These nation-building projects, critical mineral extraction, liquefied natural gas exports, transmission lines, are not frivolous spending. They are strategic investments designed to diversify Canada's economy away from dependence on the increasingly hostile American market. With Donald Trump's tariffs hammering Canadian exports and trade negotiations stalled, Carney is betting on infrastructure that allows Canada to export to Asia, Europe, and other markets. Critical minerals are essential for electric vehicle batteries, renewable energy technologies, and electronics. If Canada can position itself as a reliable supplier, it could become a major player in the global green economy. That is not wasteful spending. That is economic strategy. Poilievre also attacked the Major Projects Office itself, calling it another layer of government bureaucracy that will slow down approvals rather than speed them up. He argued that Canada already has too many regulatory bodies, and creating a new office just adds more red tape. But that criticism ignores the reality that Canada's infrastructure approval process is notoriously slow, often taking years or even decades for major projects to get the green light. The Major Projects Office is supposed to cut through that bureaucracy, not add to it. Whether it succeeds remains to be seen, but dismissing it as useless before it has even had a chance to prove itself is premature. What Poilievre is really doing here is playing to his base. His supporters want to hear attacks on Carney's spending, criticisms of government bureaucracy, and promises that Conservatives would do things differently. But Poilievre has not offered a detailed alternative plan. He criticizes Carney's infrastructure strategy, but does not explain how he would diversify Canada's economy or reduce dependence on American markets. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, this has been Canada Newsletter.